Welcome to the Confident and Courageous Clarity Podcast with me, Jateya Jones. Join us weekly for everything clarity. The truth is, once you have clarity, you'll have the confidence and courage to succeed in life and business. If you're new to the podcast, you should know my goal is to help you gain the clarity needed to transform your visions, goals, or dreams into reality. For my OG listeners, you all know that the podcast was birthed from the evolution of Mocha Monday's Tip of the Week. So when we moved to the podcast, I couldn't just leave you without your mocha. Therefore, at the beginning of each episode, I give you your drop of mocha, and you are to implement it throughout the week to help inch you closer and closer to clarity. This week's drop of mocha is: don't fight the easy. So many of my clients, when we're working to find their common thread, the thing that ties together all of their passions, the one thing that they naturally do, are always like, that's too easy. Who's going to pay me for that? And they always fight the easy. Half of them are like, I've been doing that since a kid. Well, why are we trying not to do that thing? Don't fight the easy. As a multi-passionate entrepreneur, if you're trying to figure out what you naturally do, your common thread, and it's that thing that is super easy for you but difficult for others, you really don't want to charge for it because you feel like everybody else could do it for themselves, then 9 times out of 10, that thing is that you're onto something. That is probably the closest thing to your common thread. So journal about it, write about it. Go down memory lane. See if you connect any of the dots that you've used this thing in your personal and your professional life. Let me know. DM me. Let's talk about it. But stop fighting the easy. If it was meant to be difficult, then you wouldn't be in alignment. Alignment truly means to be placed in a straight line. Therefore, things flow easily. Doesn't mean it won't be hard work, but they will flow and they will come with ease. So don't fight the easy. Now let's jump into this week's episode. Hello, and welcome back to another edition of the Confident and Courageous Clarity Podcast. Let's jump right on in. Let me tell you, it is hard sometimes. I won't use the word hard. It's a struggle sometimes being a purpose-driven entrepreneur because you actually have to figure it out, right? So you can't really Google and find the blueprint and just do the steps that it's telling you to do, right? Like, that's just not how this works. You are the blueprint. And what I realized is it's very easy to tell other people how to do something, whatever your gift is, right? So like mine is guiding you to clarity. It is so natural and easy for me to open my mouth and be like, blah, and people be like, oh my God, yes, thank you, right? That's my gift. I've been able to hone it and actually put it into a system. But that took a lot of work, okay? A lot of work. Because there was no thing out there that I could rinse and repeat. But one thing I know for sure is that you'll be tested in your method. And as multi-passionates, we poop gold flakes with no effort. But if we put in some effort, we poop gold bricks. So can you imagine like all these gold flakes, they're just like fluttering in the air and people ooh and ah at what you naturally do that comes so easy for you because it's pretty and it's good and it's more than they could do, right? The thing that makes you a unicorn. However, that first time they see you poop a gold brick, they're like, son, why I ain't get a gold brick? Why I just got some flakes? Well, normally when that happens, it's because you are about to be tested in your method. And it's mainly because God wants to make sure that you are refined as much as you're refining others. And what I hear a lot of people say, and what I know for myself was really easy to do, that was to do things for others. It was always so easy. Like, let me help because it comes easy. You open your mouth and God flows through you, and ta-da, right? But it was always hard to do that exact same thing for yourself. Yeah, that part. So when he's testing you, I've had plenty of temper tantrums, y'all. I've had a temper tantrum as recently as last Monday. And it always works out for our good, but and it made me really sit and think about, you guys know my snickerdoodle. One of the things I've always told him is just go ahead and do what you know you got to do so you can go ahead and do what you want to do. Do what your dad said so we can get back to playing. Hurry up and do what you know you got to do so you can do what you want to do. And as I'm in the middle of a temper tantrum, I hear that. And I'm like, God, you not funny, but fine, whatever, right? Rolling my eyes and all. And why do I tell you this? Because in that, I've had to accept that I have to be tested in order to make sure that I'm giving you gold bricks, not just gold flakes. But also in that acceptance, I've had to then figure out, how does this work best for me, right? How do I push past my limits and beliefs? How do I still continue to show up when I'm mentally and physically exhausted from this test? And so, as bananas as this is about to sound, it actually works. So I'm sharing it with you guys today. Do it for her. I know you like, who we talking about? I visualize my future self. Like I can literally see her in my head. And she's dressed to the nines. She is fly to death. Okay. But she's stressed out and she's frustrated. And because I know that feeling all too well, being, quote unquote, the beginning stages of entrepreneurship. Because if you've been around for a while, I haven't even been a year full-time entrepreneurship. And so if you haven't, I have not even been in this thing a full-time entrepreneur a year yet, right? And I feel for her. My heart aches for her, the future version of me, like it does for my clients. And the same urge and desire I have to help my clients and give them this relief and the freedom of the weight on their shoulders and the relief and exchange that anxiety for excitement. Like the desire I have that for my clients, I all of a sudden have it for her because I could literally see her. And though she fly and she dressed to the nines, she's still just as frustrated and stressed out as I feel on most days. Okay. And so I have to ask myself, what can I do today to make her literally take a real breath and exhale and tell her younger self thank you? And I decide what that one thing is. And a lot of times I don't want to do it. Not because it's hard, not because I'm just having a temperature. I don't want to do it. It's taking a lot of mental capacity or time. And I want to do those things I could easily check off my to-do list, right? And that ain't the case. So normally those are the things that I truly have to sit down and invest time and a lot of mental energy into. But I'm always thankful once they're done. And those are the things that aren't just productive, they progress me forward. And so because it's so easy to do things for others, I do it for her so that I literally can actually visually see her say, thank you. Thank you, younger self. Like, thank you. And to see her take that sigh of relief in my head gives me a sigh of relief. One, because I don't have this big elephant sitting on my shoulder that I know I need to do, that I got to do. It's the thing that's going to literally catapult me forward. It's the progression over productivity, right? It's that thing. Those are the things we normally don't take the time to sit down and do until we're forced to do them. Those are the things that are needed for us to poop bricks and not just flakes. And those bricks are going to stack. And they're going to get us to that place of abundant prosperity in purpose. Not just prospering in purpose, but abundantly prospering in purpose. And if any of you are like me, you see the vision, you see the end. Most of us think the vision is the how. It's not. We see bits and pieces of the how when we get glimpses of the vision, but it really is the end. It's the end result. And we're so ready to get there. So if you're anything like me, do it for her. Do those things that take time. Do those things that you got to sit there. And it might take you hours, and you in your head, you like, it should not take me 2 hours to write this email. But it does, because everything in us is fighting against doing it. And normally you're like, this is bananas. Why do I do it? And I'm here to tell you it's because the enemy knows that once you do this thing, it's about to be on and popping. And so he puts these things in the way and binds us in fear and frustration and angst. But do it for her. Sit down, visualize your future self, and ask yourself, what is the thing you can do today to help her literally exhale and say thank you? So that tomorrow you can really truly be her, minus the frustration, minus the stress, minus the anxiety, and actually abundantly prospering in purpose. So do it for her. Journal, journal, journal. What does she look like? How do you want her to feel? And what are these things that we could do today that may be time consuming, but we know we need to do so that she can take an exhale and thank you. Okay? That's it this week. I wanted to share my frustration, my angst, my real life, the temper tantrums that I have, but also the technique that works for me because I'm a visual learner, right? So I literally see her in my head. I see her take that exhale and I see her say thank you. And it's easy for me to do it for her because it's easier for me to do things for others than it is for myself. And even though she is me, it's easier because it's not the current me. I hope that makes sense to somebody. And I hope it helps somebody. So journal, journal, journal. What does she look like? What does she feel like? And how does she abundantly prosper in purpose? And then what are the things you could do today? Small things, baby steps, because she's in the future. It's not tomorrow. So don't stress. What are the small things you can do today that you know you need to do that you probably been putting off or skipping to something else so you can quickly check it off your to-do list? What are those things? And pick one thing and do it today. And then look back at this journal entry and pick one thing and do it tomorrow. Do it for her. She says thank you. And she is grateful for that exhale each and every time you do something for her. So do it for her. That's it this week. I hope you have a marvelous, marvelous, marvelous week and an even better Monday. And that's not what I normally say. I say I hope you have a marvelous, marvelous Monday and an even better week. There we go. And I'll talk to you all same time, same place next week. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the golden information myself or my guests are here to share with you to guide you along your purpose-driven, multi-passionate entrepreneurial journey. Share it with a friend and definitely share it with another multi-passionate. Last but not least, the current cohort of the Plan to Win incubator graduates next week, and I'm so super excited for them. But do you know what that means? I'm super excited for you. The doors are open, and this is your opportunity to register and get the clarity you need to transition your vision into reality. Many of us have the vision, but we struggle with the how.
How do we implement it? How do we create it? How do we get the information out to those that we're called to serve? And that's what we'll go over within 90 days is the how. I'll handhold you and walk you through creating your custom winning plan for you and your ideal client. I can't wait to help propel you into your future of prospering in purpose. Register today. Links in the show notes. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Confident and Courageous Clarity Podcast. I hope you'll come back next week and join us for some more. And I'll see you back here, same time, same place next week.